Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It is so interesting to observe this phenomenon, and that is someone looks at a situation, looks at an event and interprets that event the way he or she wants to interpret it, according to that person's abilities to, interpret it. Ideology, worldview, and, biases that you might have. So you look at a situation, and this person looks at the same situation, the same event, and they interpret it differently. Let's say we have a woman slapping a man. This person might see it in a certain way, this one sees it in a different way. And then after a while, both people will see the man and the woman, walking in the park and embracing one another, sharing kisses and all that. This guy is going to be very surprised because he's going to interpret the previous event in a certain way, and therefore the second one doesn't make sense. The other one interprets it differently. More information, more, thinking. I know, it's just a loose analogy, let's put it this way, or example, loose example. What I'm trying to say, we have people in the mass media or in political circles that they are led by ideologies, likes and dislikes. That's the way we are. We like certain things, we don't like certain things, and we have ideologies. We like this kind of world to function like this. Some people want the world to function in a different way. That's ideology. Then you work towards that you think that is the right way. The other one thinks that's the right way. Okay. Now you have the United States of America interpreting certain statements the way, I'm talking about mass media and politicians, certain statements, they interpret them in a certain way. And I think that regarding this article that I'm about to discuss, is very much based on their ideology, and it's a make-believe. They're already the script that they have in their brain. And then when the same actors do something opposite to what they thought they did, they're very surprised. Because they interpreted the first one not based on, try to look at it in an empirical way. Look at it on an objective way, empirical way. Okay, let's analyze it. No. They inserted that like or dislike. Okay, Russia bad, China bad, criminals. If you start from them, anything they do, you look through those lenses and you're going to find answers based on those lenses. Okay? Now if you think that Russia and China are good, you're going to have a total different interpretation of their actions. That's the way people are. Not the objective way. The lenses, the glasses they put. Now what happened here? The United States interprets certain kind of statements and actions in a wrong way. I'm not saying mine is the right way, but I can also judge by these things and whatever these guys say as being, you're crazy? I mean, it's obviously it's not like that, but let's see what's going on. So this article comes with a new voice of Ukraine. China doubles down on propping Moscow up. And it is Wall Street Journal. So this is taken from Wall Street Journal by the New Voice of Ukraine, December 14th, 2022. And now, despite making an effort to somewhat distance himself publicly from Russia, Chinese President Xi Jinping is doubling down on his long-term support of Russian dictator Vladimir Putin, the Wall Street Journal reported on December 14th. Let's start with the beginning. I knew because I saw how the media interpreted Xi Jinping's and the statements on Russia at G20 as, oh, look, China is distancing itself. I was like, are you crazy? I made a video on that, and I said, you think that these guys are going to change in, their how they call it, the relationship between China and United States is warming up. I was like, are you crazy? And they're distancing Russia, they're pushing the Russia, finally China. And I said, are you crazy? These guys have forged an alliance for years, 10 years, 18, 12 years, something like that. And you think that with one meeting between the shuffling, semi-conscious Biden, with Xi Jinping Xi Jinping is going to say, yes, my bad, you're the good guy, that's the bad guy. Thank you very much for slapping me around and, waking me up. But that was the ideology, that was the push. And now they realize, by whatever the Chinese are doing, that, hey, how come you're doubling down now? You turn around from what we thought you did at G20? He didn't do that at G20. You interpreted that as however you want it. So let's see what the hell happened. Citing political advisors in Beijing, Wall Street Journal writes that Xi Jinping has recently instructed his government to further deepen economic ties with Russia. Yes, they keep doing what they're doing. You fucked up too much. They are aligned, they are together, and you are their enemy. You are with your weasels, they are with their weasels. Got it? All right. The plan, but these guys cannot understand how countries cannot be with them or like them. Must be bad. That's the ideology. Because we are good and perfect. If someone doesn't like us, must be bad. Because they can't have a honest, gaze in the mirror. The plan reportedly involves increased imports of Russian hydrocarbons and agricultural produce, along with additional investment in Russia's ports and railways. Beijing and Moscow also seek to limit their exposure to potential Western sanctions by conducting more financial transactions using yuan and ruble as opposed to the US dollar. And they have joint patrols with strategic nuclear bombers in the Sea of Japan and in the North Pacific and in other areas, in Arctic and so on. Yeah, but you just G20, you were friends and everything changed. This is a infantile way of saying. So, and I'm quoting, Russia and China have long sought to dull the US influence in the world. How did the US got influence? The same way these guys try to dull yours right now. So it's normal. You wanted the influence, now they wanted the influence. By how? First, gathering and trying to push it against you. And then, if they can destroy you, they will destroy you. If they can't destroy you, you're going to destroy them. Otherwise, you're going to leave two separate blocks. All right, a shared objective that has come into sharper focus in recent years, and the two nations have grown confident that they can reshape an international order, dictatorship you mean, that both view as biased in favor of the West and its allies. End quote. The article reads, have you heard weasel semantics? So, Wall Street Journal notes that while China did not directly condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine, it also stopped short of openly embracing the Russian regime. Correct. During the November... because I like it. No, because that's the way it is. During the November G20 summit, Xi Jinping told US President Joe Biden, now listen to this, this is what they interpreted as he distanced himself from Russia and condemned Russia. This is what he said. Told Biden that China opposes Moscow using nuclear weapons in Ukraine. That they never will use, and of course they oppose. Who would not oppose? Russia opposed. I tell you, the first one person who did not oppose using nuclear weapons on Russia as a preventive strike, and that is the freedom lover democratic Zelensky. Remember that one? I made a video on that. You can check it out. He said, well, I think that NATO countries should preemptively strike Russia with nuclear weapons. He's the only one who said it. Putin didn't say, Lavrov, like that. And anyway, I'm not going to go over again what Putin said with, I'm not bluffing. If you attack us and we are, then we're going to use any means necessary. Like Malcolm X, remember? Right. So something that official Chinese media omitted to avoid giving Putin the impression the two leaders were teaming up against him. No, you interpreted that they are crazies and they are for using nuclear weapons, even though you are the only country in the world that use nuclear weapons. So you have the big fucking, problem there. But you claim that everybody wants to. You know what? With everybody wants I think you right now, you try to kill me. So I have to counter you. Bam! Is that how it goes? Yes, that's the way it goes. Yeah, so they say you guys are bad because I think you might want to use the nuclear weapons. I use them. You didn't, but I think you wanna, right? And the fact that you say, hey, nuclear weapons should not be used, Russia said like 50 times already, is something that contradicts my worldview. So these are, right now they are caught in between Xi Jinping saying that, and they took it, he's opposing Putin using nuclear weapons. Like Putin said, yeah, I'm going to use nuclear weapons. I'm ready right there. And see, he's with us. Like China would say, no, Putin, go ahead, use them. Yeah, I'm with you. Really? Support you? I mean, if you think that China is a criminal state, yeah, you would interpret it like that. If you think Russia is a criminal state, yeah, you would interpret it like that. But it's ideologies. Ideologies to a certain extent. In general, China is becoming the ever more dominant partner in Sino-Russian relationship, with Beijing considering it, I'm quoting, acceptable to snub Moscow, said Yuan Sun, director of the China program of the Stimson Center, a Washington think tank. Okay, you're full of ideology. It's true what you said over there, that China is more dominant. That's true. But China without the Russians' energy, I think he's not going to be that dominant. China needs that energy for development, a lot of it, gas and oil. So yeah, it's true. If the Russians are saying no more for you, and you can't invade me because I'm going to defend myself, what are they going to do? Buy from the Arabs from the other side of the world? And the Arabs have to give it to some others. And they have a limit, don't they? So it's not that easy. It's not that easy, Mr. Yoon Soon. But he says what he has to say. He's in Washington, D.C., a think tank. What do you think he's going to say? And these guys are not going to give him money anymore. How do you think his think tank survives? Non-profit? He gets money from whom? From me? Anyway, and he has something here. He said also something here, considering it acceptable to snub Moscow. Where was the snub? Where was the snub, Sun Tzu? Yoon Sun? Where was the snub? Again, his make-believe. He wants China to do that. China doesn't do that, but he wants it. And he can't keep his mouth shut, and he says that. He's promoted by Wall Street Journal, this Yoon Sun. He's in Washington, D.C. What do you expect? Think tank. I can have 50 think tanks smarter than that guy. But hey, he's right there. I read about him. He doesn't read about me. So you see, another, oh my God, Emily, you're paranoid here. But look at this guy. Look at this guy. He can afford snubbing Russia. In what way? It's true that they are becoming the dominant one, but they need one another. There's a problem, Sun Tzu. One without another cannot fight these guys, or not to fight it properly, because right now Russia is fighting about 40 countries, not Ukraine. Ukraine is just the territory where is fighting the other guys. The other guys fight this way. We can hit you, but you're not allowed to hit us. That's how they fight. Mighty and so on. You know, they sell weapons to those guys to operate, and they have also, they're gonna send now Patriot defense air systems, blah, 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 blah. That's again operated by non-Ukrainians. HIMARS, what's his name, said the same thing. Colonel McGregor said the same thing with HIMARS. They're not operated by Ukrainians, they're operated by contractors. Why do you think the Russians saying, hey, if you send Patriot missiles over there or systems, they're legitimate targets. That means we're going to kill your boys. And the Americans say, yeah, we know, so go ahead. Yeah, that's a weasel-like. And so Russia is not going to be crumble under the all this coalition of one lion and 40 hyenas. Because the hyenas without the lions will be like disperse, because the other lion is going to snap them. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.